Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options and Play video update. First off, I want to thank all of you guys that spent the time to hang out last night. It's our twice a month option session, and I always really value the opportunity just to talk trading, talk options, talk strategy, just basically all things option and markets related. Just just a great like open collaborative environment where bounce ideas off each other, just talk shop, and I really do. I probably say it a lot, but I really do value like the open conversation, open dialogue. So thank you again for those of you that stuck around. And in the future, I hope more of you guys can make it because the more people, the more ideas, like the better the environment, right? So what I want to talk about today is something just a little bit more broad. All right, so not a specific idea, but it's kind of probably something that you've been noticing just over the last couple weeks with these earnings catalyst ideas, and what the point I kind of want to drive home is just why we've been some of the ideas have been closed out right away, right? And the overall tape, so the overall market, we've talked about in the past, it's going to impact the style of trades that work, right? So what's working, like when we're in a strong trending tape, you're looking for like bullish breakouts, continuations, or more um, uh, like calendar spreads, right? Like longer dated spreads, stuff like that. When you're in like kind of like a sideways tape, then maybe you're looking for volatility strategies, or if it's like a volatile tape, volatility strategies. So right now we're in a little bit more of a volatile of a tape, right? So the volatility strategies, which I'm sure you've been noticing, have been working a little bit better, right? Or actually been working quite a bit better. Um, but at the same time, the type of tape we're in is also dictating the exits. Okay, so sometimes you get like one, if the stock beats and it gaps up a lot, maybe you get like a good move that session, and then the next couple sessions after, right? Like really incredible follow through, right? Sometimes like we're seeing right now, you get like a fast move higher, and then maybe it just like reverses, right? So there's a lot of like indecisiveness, a lot of indecision, a lot of higher volatility. Like people are a little bit more reluctant to chase things, right? And up here I have Stitch Fix, and like so this is just kind of like what I want to highlight, right? So this is why we've been a little bit quicker exiting these trades, right? Like the Stitch Fix idea and the Restoration Hardware idea, which we'll get to in a second. I mean, those were like closed like right after the open, just because a lot of like big gaps have been fizzling, like upside and downside, right? So like Stitch Fix opened and basically within like the first few minutes put in like the high of the day, and then it sold off. It sold off basically the remainder of the session, right? Restoration Hardware kind of like a similar move, right? The open was more or less like the high, and then it just kind of sold off throughout the remainder of the day and closed. I mean, it didn't go red, but it closed well off the best level of the day, right? Um, Broadcom, another name. This is to the opposite side, right? The open was basically like the low of the day, and it kind of bounced from there, right? So it's you're seeing that. I mean, it's not just those. It's Sienna was another one. This one actually rallied one day, but then it had basically zero follow through, and it rolled right back down, right? So what I want to what I want to drive home here is the fact that not only will the tape dictate what types of trades are working, but it's also going to dictate like how you should manage those exits, right? And if you're a little bit quicker taking money off the table now, then what it does is it gives you a little bit more of a flexibility to like reevaluate the strategy, with like kind of like a fresh perspective, right? Like if you're flat, so if you close it out quick and you're flat, then you can reevaluate it quicker for like another trade opportunity, right? And a lot of these trades have been given some secondary moves, right? So you get like the first pop pullback, and then like these fast um, moving averages come into play, right? So like you've heard me talk about these before. The 8 EMA, you get like the curl off the 8 EMA, right? Or Stitch Fix, right? Kind of similar. You get the quick move, pull back, now it's chopping around, and then the 8 EMA is starting to come into play here, right? So these are the types of scenarios that this tape are presenting, right? Like volatility strategies are working a little bit better because the volatility in general is a little bit higher. Um, but you also got to be a little bit quicker on the exits because like the moves aren't sticking immediately, right? But if you get out a little bit sooner, right, then what you're starting to get the opportunity to like revisit the ideas after like a couple quick moves, right? So like you're seeing like Stitch Fix, Restoration Hardware, right? It might be prepping for some sort of similar move, right? If you get this the 8 EMA come in underneath, maybe it gives like a quick base and you can look at it for like another extension, right? Or Broadcom after missing, it's a little bit sloppier for setup, but if it pulls back, maybe consolidates around the 8 EMA, then maybe you could even look at that for a move on the downside, right? So it's like the market's constantly changing, and what's working this month might be not working next month, or it might be a completely different type of strategy that's working next month. I mean, if we enter a trending tape again, I mean, completely different types of strategies that work in those environments, right? But for right now, you just need to like recognize the tape, right? You recognize that the big gains, the big losses aren't really sticking. The exits should be a little bit faster, right? But definitely keep those names on your radar after whether you get out or even if you don't play it, right? Like just keep the names on the radar because there's a lot of fast developing setups that are presenting themselves even after the move, right? Because you're not getting like the 1, 2, 3 day extension. You're getting 1 day move, couple day consolidation, and maybe a move after that. All right. So like I said, just a little bit broader of an idea, but it's something that I've been noticing, right? Obviously, if you read like the letters, like you're noticing that we're revisiting a lot of these ideas a little bit faster, right? Like to like the Stitch Fixes and like the Sienas, and it's really because of this environment that we're in, where you're getting like a one big day move, not a lot of follow through, but then things kind of develop after, right? So that's why you're seeing like a lot of these quick developing setups and names that just reported. So just wanted to like highlight that. All right. So let me know what you think. Questions or comments about this video, questions or comments about last night's session, or anything that we may have discussed last night. If you want to reach out, happy to chat. All right. So have a great night, and I will talk to you guys all tomorrow.